All right, on today's 30-minute mechanic, we are going to pause game on the steering shaft. Got to do some more thinking on that, so I'm going to hang loose on that. So today, we're going to crawl under the car, my favorite place to be, and put the drive shaft in it and hook up a few things underneath there. So buckle up, let's go. All right, kind of got an interesting piece here. I bought this drive shaft, back when I first built this car. Got it on eBay. It was a NASCAR takeout. It's a REB Performance Products drive shaft. It's a NASCAR takeout drive shaft. And when I got it, it had markings on it that said, when it was, well, I went ahead and rewrote stuff on there. It was in the McGill Motorsports number 36 Bush Series car back then. Said it was raced in Phoenix 11 of 07. So it's a genuine NASCAR. Oh no! Try not to damage it there. Genuine NASCAR drive shaft, 1350 joints on both ends. It's been a pretty solid piece. Never had any problems with it. So we're going to crawl in the car. We're going to jam this dude back in there. Maybe hook up our speedometer cable and shifter cable. Maybe the shifter cable. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, here we go. Got our big old drive shaft here. Gonna wiggle it in. I don't have any idea if this transmission's in park or if it's in neutral or what. Come on, get in there. What's going on here? Come in. There we go. Slide it in. Wiggle it up. Yay, we're in neutral. Now we find a bolt to put in there so I don't accidentally drop it on my head. Come on. Okay, yay. Hooray! And you might be able to see the drive shaft loop. I had to put an extra little swoopy-doo on it there because when it was straight, that drive shaft would bang into it. And a buddy was like, hey, how come your car throws sparks every time you launch? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I got to looking and I was like, hey, that's because my drive shaft is whacking the drive shaft loop. Oh. All right. So yeah, I got some genuine NASCAR parts in this car. I don't know if they still sell. Of course, they're probably completely different now. far as the car layouts, and can't get that one to start. Drive shaft links and everything else. But this has been a good one. I haven't had any trouble with it. Yeah. This is one of the perplexing things Ford did. Ford, why? Why did you put 12? Why are these bolts 12 millimeter? Why are the heads 12 millimeter, 12 point? I mean, do you just not want anybody to? I mean, that just makes things harder. Why not 13? Why 12 point? Why didn't you should have put a 6 point on there? I don't understand it. Probably makes sense. Some bean counter somewhere. Okay. And you'll notice, okay, I told you these are 1350 joints. 13, you have to have a bigger companion flange for a 1350 than you do for 1330s. Like regular 8.8s in a Mustang have the small companion flange, and you run either 1310 or 1330 joint. This one, I think this one does 1330 and 1350. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it came out of. I think it came out of a pickup. Big pickup. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be a big pickup. It was 8.8. Maybe some Explorers used the bigger companion flange. Get my arm over here. And the parking brake is set in this car. So there shouldn't be any danger of me running it off the jack stands. McGill Motorsports. Been considering changing. This car has 355s in it. I've been considering going to a lower gear. Like a 390. I have run 390s in it before. Actually, the last, it ran its quickest with 390s in it. Can't get my wrench on this. That was with a different engine combo. But I've run 390s. It's got 355s in it. Might be a set of 410s available around here. I don't know if I want to run a 410 and something I'll do a drag and drive with. I think 390 is probably as steep as I want to go with a 28-inch tire. I want to keep my eyes peeled for some lower gears. I'm not opposed to changing them. I can do that. Doesn't take long. Okay, look at that. Drive shaft done. All right. Now, it's kind of my next thing. Where's my speedometer cable? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. I'll turn you a little bit. Maybe you can. Speedometer. the speedometer cable. I bought a new one at one point and went, yay, got a brand new speedometer cable that's not melted on headers. And then guess what I did? Immediately melted it on the headers. Come on, get in there. Okay. Speedometer cable installed. Immediately melted it on the headers. There's also a harness right down here for the O2 sensor, which I don't have the O2 in yet, so I'm not going to jack with that. Shifter cable. I don't even know where my shifter cable is. It's way over here. And it's way on the wrong side of everything. Yeah, boy. Maybe I can. This cable has to do the do-si-do around the world here. Did I even do that before? Oh, it goes this way. Oh, this is going to take some. This is going to take some looking. I don't know. Don't recall how I ran it before. I feel like that. I don't think that's right. I don't know. I got to do some looking. Okay, a little quick note about the steering shaft. I did order some 3/4 inch DD steering shaft, which is the same as this end down here. It goes square right here, but this end is DD, 3/4 inch DD, and a 9/16 26 spline to 3/4 inch DD U joint. So what that'll do is that'll move this whole U joint this way. So the U joint will be down here instead of here. And then I'll just have a shaft that'll slide into the piece I've got already in the car. And then I'll just mark it for the little hole that I put through it and drill it, have the retainer bolt in there, and then I'll just have a U joint and a piece of steering shaft. And it'll be considerably shorter, and it'll pull this in that way, and it'll be away from the header because that's right next to a header tube, if you probably remember. I was gonna just modify this and keep using it, but then I thought to myself, just do it right. Just do it the right way, and then you won't have to jack with it ever again. Okay, one of the other most annoying things besides the steering shaft on a big Ford is the proximity of the header to the shift linkage. Get that guy out of my way. And it makes it really hard to get your fingers up in here, and particularly with the transmission shield. And you've got the transmission shield under here with the push that forward a little bit. With this bracket underneath here, it really gets congested. There's not a lot of room to work on things and get bolts in and get to the, I got that hooked up on the wrong side there. And get to the linkage. I've got enough room. Maybe. I don't know what to do with, there it is. Okay. Now I think going over the top. I don't know if y'all can see. I need my readers. I think I have them. Oh, look at that. I have them. Oh, man. I can see. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Going to be a problem. Okay. We're going to have to do a little. Do I have a Sharpie? I do not. Time out. Time in. I'm looking all around for my Sharpie, and it was in my pocket. So I had my Sharpie and my readers handy. And what we're going to have to do, we're going to take this transmission shifter bracket. We're going to put a little notch in it. And the reason is the shifter bracket interferes with the transmission shield bracket here. They crash into each other. And I gotta have the hole right there for my V-band that's in this deal. So we need to put a tiny little notch in this. And I wonder if I can do that. What if I can do that under here without having to take that thing off? Let's find out. I bet I can. Let me get my cordless grinder. And we're back from station identification. Okay. All we want to do, maybe a mark on here. Oh, gosh. I don't fit that direction. Let me turn. Oh! I know. You get to listen to an old man make all kinds of noise crawling around under a car. Let's see if we can do a little cutty cut here. Whoa. This is not working like I want it to. Just can't hold on to that thing all that great at this angle. Hey, that wasn't bad. We can put us a score across there and then we can maybe get some pliers and bend it. Yep, hang on. Of course, I don't have anything down here to do that with. Never prepared. Never prepared. Although I didn't expect to. I thought I could just cut it out. But I'm afraid I'm gonna hit the shifter cable and put a big hickey in the shifter cable. I really don't want to do that. Oh yeah. Easy peasy. Chocolatey, cheesy. Okay. What is happening here? There we go. Oh, perfect. I mean, you don't get a whole lot more better than what I just did. Well, I guess you could, but that seems to work pretty good. Now comes the really interesting part. The B&M, these shifters, I've really had good luck with these B&M Pro Stick shifters. But their bracketry, as far as the shift cable and how it mounts, sometimes lacks a little to be desired. Sometimes I feel like they could have come up with a better way to do that. Here's the real question. How am I going to get that because you got to use these little spacers like this between the bottom of the bracket and the pan. And, well, that's not a problem usually. Since I'm using a transmission shield, it becomes a problem. Just can't get my hand in there. To get the little spacer on top. Don't believe it, but I just got it sitting up there. And then usually, that somehow, by a miracle, I may have just got it all together. Maybe not. Can't get it started. Maybe I did. Holy smokes. Inconceivable. It's in there. Cable. Inconceivable. Snugged her down. I guess I bent that pan when I added on the, when I was putting the transmission on there, it slipped off that piano dolly and hit the floor. I guess that, kapow, jammed the fill plug up a little bit. Might try to, when I drain the fluid, I might try to make something to fit in there, screw in there, and then maybe slide hammer that down a little bit. Doink, 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 doink. Maybe. Wow, can't believe I just got that part in there. Now there comes the next challenge. I may have bumped my light and you may not have seen a single thing I did. The next challenge is always getting the shifter getting the cable connected to the shifter in the right gear. We're gonna put that thing in neutral. Okay, the trans in neutral, and of course that's nowhere near. Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say, I don't understand how I can take things apart and then come back and put them back together and they never end up in the right spot, but I think this actually did. Comes my least favorite part of this is getting the cotter pin. And actually my really my least favorite is taking the cotter pin out. Because it goes on the back side. Did I really just do that? Oh my word. Oops, come back here. I don't believe it. And that's what Derek Beery, Vice Grip Garage. I don't believe it, but I got to because I'm looking right at it. And I don't believe I just did that. I'm gonna bend that. Shifter. That's probably the most painless shifter cable install I've ever done on this car. That's my cable from My O2 sensor. I'm really glad that didn't drip on my head. Look up and there's a drip of transmission fluid just waiting to drip on me. Man, that kind of makes a guy feel pretty good about himself. Okay, and keeping with my tradition of doing one more little thing before I go. I say tradition. I haven't done a lot on this this channel, but typically I used to always tell myself, okay, when about the time I'm ready to go leave for the day, I'm like, okay, do one more little thing. And my one little thing today is let's get the throttle cable mount and throttle cable. I guess I could put let's put the spring throttle cable spring return spring deal on first. Because that'll be kind of hidden. Throttle cable return spring. Check. Double springs. Always got to have the double springs. I like doing this part. I like doing the stuff on top. The stuff on the floor underneath, not my favorite place to be. Has to be done, but man, maybe someday Mrs. 30-minute mechanic will buy me a lift and I won't have to lay around on the floor. I'm joking, Mrs. 30-minute mechanic. She's the best. Maybe someday she'll make a cameo on my show. And y'all can meet her. Come on. There we go. Throttle cable mount, return spring, throttle cable attached. All that's done. Burp, 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 burp. Yeah, that's good. That is a good thing. And you know what? Just to knock one more little, maybe, let's try it. Knock one more little thing out. I always run. This is my water temp gauge. Bahookie. Always run it right through the middle of the intake. Maybe I can get it fed through here. It feeds through. It feeds through and goes right here in the front. And stays out of the way. Let's grab us I've taken this out so many times, I know that it's a 5/8. Problem is finding a 5/8. I found one right off the bat. You snug it down. Okay. Got a few more things knocked off our internal memory list. And I'll show you one little deal. One last thing here. Since I took the filter off, well, I used to have a hose. Swing you down. Let's get the little, there we go. That's much better. I used to have a hose that went from my reg down here, swung up, whoop, up to my fuel line for my carburetor. Well, I hijacked that for my other car. So what I'm going to do is I've got this little tiny line. I'm going to cut this hose off. I used this one on our EFI on this engine way back when. And I'm going to take off the hard 90 there and put this on here, make a new line where that dude plug in there. Going to swing down right into my reg, and then we'll be good. So that will be that'll be coming in a little later. We get a little closer. That may be something I do extra one day. Who knows? All right. All right. That's going to do it for 30-minute mechanic today. Got our drive shaft in, got our shifter hooked up, got our throttle cable connected. Got, what was the other thing? Oh, the water temperature gauge sensor thing plugged in. I'm telling you, just do a couple little extra things and your project will move along really quick. Talk to you about not the drive shaft. I did talk to you about the drive shaft, the steering shaft. We'll go into that on a future episode when stuff gets here, and I'll show you how to make that and put it all in. Make sure you hit the description. Check out my friends' channel. See what those guys are up to. Give them a like. Give them a subscribe. You know, they're good guys. They got some good content. Go check them out. But for me, as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.